Hi everyone, welcome to Texting Matters. I'm Sibongile Kumalo. This is the introduction to what this channel is about or what this platform is about. So, starting off with the name, right? Texting matters. The word texting or text has a negative connotation to it in general, right? Firstly, I just went onto Google, simply Googled what text means, and we have the definitions that we probably all know, but I just want to highlight the the ones that speak to the negative connotation that I'm speaking to or talking to. And the two words that stand out are heavy and burden, right? So one definition says make heavy demands on someone's power or resources, or a strain or heavy demand, right? So I doubt I've met anyone who is a fan of being text. If anything, it's like there's a pit in your stomach that just drops, right? You go into school, you study hard thinking that, yes, I can't wait until I work. I don't know, do people look forward to working? I'm just trying to think about myself as a kid going through school. I looked forward to I enjoyed school, right? But I think as a kid, you want certain things and your parents can't always get them for you. And there's an aspect of you who just wants to grow up and be able to work a good job, earn well, and essentially start making money for yourself so that you can get the things that you want. And unfortunately, our school system doesn't have tax embedded in a way that prepares you, right, for the real world. So basically, it's a shock to the system, right, when you realize that if you signed a contract that said you're gonna pay, or you're gonna earn rather, 10,000 rand a month. There's so many things that goes into that 10,000 rand, and it's not 10,000 rand that you're taking home with you. And no one likes that. No one enjoys that feeling when suddenly you plan your life around 10,000 rand and you go home with, I don't know, let's say 8.5. I don't know, as an example, right? So no one likes tax, let's just be honest. And a lot of people try to ignore that SARS even exists, um, if they can. And SARS, on the other hand, has a mandate, and they are very intentional, and they continuously try to find ways to improve their methods of collecting tax on behalf of the government, whoever's ruling at the time, right? It's not even about a party per se. Tax, tax is tax. And personally, I am a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. And Jesus came to die for us, and save us from our sins and everything except taxes. Yeah, well, on this earth, right? And instead he said, give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. So yeah. So I think for me, what my heart is to figure out a way to help people with taxes. So that brings me to of this platform, right? So taxing matters, right? And burdensome matters, yeah, taxing matters. Yes, it's a play on words, so it's double meaning. Taxing, yes, taxing in terms of the negative connotation, but also taxing as in like literally the taxes that you need to pay. And two views. So these two views, meaning I'm gonna be speaking from two different perspectives from time to time, right? So it's either I'm speaking from the blue perspective. So this mug is currently blue. When there's a hot substance in here, it will turn white-ish. and this one represents the taxpayer part of me. So I'm a registered tax practitioner, and yeah, so I think with these mugs, these are a good timer for me. So by the time they turn blue again, I should be done. So basically, these videos should be short form videos. They're nuggets. So the first perspective is what I would refer to as the blue perspective. The aim here is to share tips to try and ease the burden, right, of tax compliance. Yeah, because the truth is there's no one person who earns anything that can avoid tax. Or rather, tax avoidance is actually legal. Tax evasion is what is illegal, right? So, but the moment you're earning an income, you have to be registered as a taxpayer with SARS, right? And some people manage to maybe hide, but SARS is getting very advanced in in collecting taxes, and in an AI world, places to hide are getting very few and far in between. So if there's one, we live in South Africa, right? If there is one organization that is very efficient that relates to our government, SARS is that organization. It's not like you can hide from SARS for successfully forever. I want to be able to point you in the right direction, right? This is also a learning platform for me. I'm recently registered. So it's almost like we'll be learning together, and yeah, I think for me it's just the heart is to say this is a sometimes a daunting thing because of, yes, the feelings attached to it, but there's a lot of technicalities as well. And this platform then offers the opportunity for questions to be shared. I also do want to put a disclaimer out to say, do not take everything that I say on this platform as tax advice that you take and run with fully, because your circumstance could be very unique somewhat. So I do encourage you to reach out either to us or to another tax practitioner who can help you with whatever queries or issues that you might have dealing with SARS. So I think as one of the things that I want to highlight as we go along, the cause and effect, so the reality and the examples, real life examples that we sometimes come across, right? And maybe dissect those or go through them. And there's a part of me that is human, right? That is a South African citizen, right? And that's the second perspective that I'll be sharing from. I want to refer to it as the red perspective, right? So on here it's written law-abiding citizen, and in between, underneath law-abiding citizen, it says hot and bothered. So the truth is, we all have eyes, and I see what you see and you see what I see, and sometimes we get shown what they want us to see, right? And here we sharing red nuggets. The other perspective, we share blue nuggets. But when we are sharing, or in an episode where we are sharing red nuggets, the aim is to share observations, frustrations that we experience as law-abiding citizens, right? So if you're not a law-abiding citizen and you're not trying to be a law-abiding citizen, this platform is not going to be for you. Just as a spoiler, right? I am a rule follower to some extent, to a large extent, right? So I'm not someone who is gonna be on this platform advising you to do something illegal, right? Or to try and find some underhanded way of dealing with your taxes so that you can get away scot-free, right? Like I said, I'm a believer in Jesus Christ. So the conscience my conscious, is is my conscious is occupied by the Holy Spirit. So I don't have those kinds of tips for anyone to say this is how you never have to pay tax, right? There's ways of reducing the amount of tax that you can pay, but none of the legal ways of doing it will be coming from me, whether on the screen, on this platform, or behind, or offline, or whatever, outside of this platform, if you call me or whatever. So I think if you can get that out of the way, because the complexity of this, of human nature, actually, it's not even limited to South Africa. People try to dodge doing things, right? Because ultimately, I think all of us don't want to make less money. All of us try to improve our quality of life through making more money, right? So I think from this perspective, it's to say, okay, there are certain things that frustrate all of us, right? The fact that we don't have a choice about whether SARS taxes us or not, right? The government basically says, well, you kind of belong to me, right? You owe me. You owe me. I don't know for what. I don't know. Maybe someone can share with me, but I don't know what we owe the government for. Especially, I think, potentially a large base of taxpayers never really received government assistance to such an extent where they are required to pay the government back over 40 years, and you have no control over how much you pay them, right? And or limited control, right? Because you have, we as individuals, we are taxed on a progressive scale of tax. So depending on how much you earn, that will determine how much you pay. And then there's certain things, depending on how diligent you are in keeping certain information or documentation available, and you know how to calculate certain things, you could find yourself paying less tax, right? So there's an element of control, but not really. And here I think we're exploring the different ways that people try to take back their power, or to have more control. And it's not always in the most legal ways, right? And I understand the if I can say, the heart behind it. People are frustrated, just like I get frustrated. And this red perspective, red nugget, is looking at the things that people are doing, the why, and also trying to discover how do we all win as a country. Because I honestly believe that if people really felt value in paying taxes, they could see the difference that the taxes are doing in the country, right? Real change, real value that you can derive from actually paying taxes. People won't run away from it, I believe. That's my personal belief. And we're saying here that yes, we see the frustrations. I share those frustrations, but what can we do? I think South Africans are one of the hardest working people, right? Yes, we have diverse temperaments, but I think ultimately we're good people. I might be deceived, or I might be proven otherwise, but I think we are skilled, hardworking, and if we can put those skills together, or collaborate, or discuss how we can better collaborate or coordinate, discover and coordinate existing or new solutions, right? And here we'll be saying the quiet part out loud, but with not just the aim to just vent, but with the aim to say, okay, what do we actually do? And yeah, I think that's really the heart. What do we do? Can we do something? Chances are maybe we can, and I believe God is on our side. And as a Christian, I do believe this is not our final home, right? So, and there's evil in this world, so I'm not I'm not deluded to think that things can be absolutely perfect here on earth, right? But I think there is a duty on us, and God calls us to us being the light and being the salt of the earth, and being a blessing to one another and to love one another. So I'm, even within this perspective, I am both realistic to say we won't get everything right. Things will never be perfect. But at the same time, I do believe that God is on our side. We can achieve a lot when God is on our side. God is on the side of good, right? And He's able to do exceedingly abundantly and above all that we may ask or think, right? And He will support a cause, a just cause, because He's a God of justice and righteousness. And I think for me, it's to say, let's work, right? Let's put in a good effort and let's work. Let's work to make this country what we would be proud of, what we want as South Africans. So, having said that, that's my introduction to this platform, and I hope it will be something that you will enjoy and something that you will partake in with me, right? And go on this journey with me together. So I invite you to come along. So thank you, and God bless, and see you soon.